Welcome to my digital gallery. I am Miss Webb and today I will be showing you around my gallery. This gallery is full of some of my favourite artists that you may have even studied in your classrooms. Today we will be looking at artists that all create amazing artwork. We will be looking at artwork made by painting, drawing, printing and sculpting. The artists we'll be looking at include Margaret Preston, Jim Dine, Mary Thomas and Rick Roberts, William Kentridge and Merrin Eason. First today, we're going to have a look at paintings. Our first artist to look at when looking at painting is Margaret Preston. Margaret Preston is an Australian artist with many talents. Preston's art shows amazing skills in printmaking, drawing, and my favourite, painting. Preston's paintings focus on landscape and, as we can see here, still life. So lots of beautiful things like flowers. By the late 20s, Preston's work focused on still life and has come to be seen as icons of modern Australia. On a personal note, Preston was known to be a forceful voice committed to female artists making their mark on the art world. Jim Dine is an American artist, very famous for his paintings of robes and hearts, both of which can be seen here. Dine's work incorporates images of everyday objects, but he has diverged from the coldness and impersonal nature of pop art by making his works fuse with personal passions and everyday experiences. His love for art and everyday objects such as the robes and hearts. Dine's constantly varied bathrobe has been described by himself as a kind of metaphor or a self-portrait, changing with the times and with his current physical and emotional state. Dine's paintings we can see here, Clinton's Robe and the Four Hearts, are all paintings that combine a variety of colours with the image seemingly carved out of these colours. Jim Dine's drawings are a great stimulus for creativity and can easily inspire classroom masterpieces. Here is an example of a Jim Dine inspired heart drawing. This piece of art used different coloured paints, pastel crayons and charcoal on paper. Let's next look at some artists who are very skilled in drawing. William Kentridge is a very famous South African artist of many talents. These talents include creating art in print, film and, as we can see here, drawing. This piece of Kentridge's art is from a series of charcoal drawings known as the Colonial Series. This artwork is one of his many that showed the landscape of South Africa before and after colonisation. In this piece, Kentridge has used charcoal and coloured chalk on paper to achieve this almost photo-like drawing. These series of charcoal drawings were Kentridge's way of noting and making obvious the extreme changes to the landscape of his country since colonisation. William Kentridge's charcoal drawings can easily be used as a starting point when creating charcoal drawings in the classroom. This charcoal landscape drawing was created in the classroom using different shades and patterns with the charcoal to create different elements of the landscape. Former monk Rick Roberts and friend Maria Thomas created this concept of contemporary art called the Zentangle. The Zentangle came about when Maria was drawing with her calligraphy pen and described to Rick the sense of calm that she felt wash over her body as she was drawing. Rick agreed that the drawing for fun can be considered a form of meditation for some people, and the idea of the Zentangle became popular throughout the art world. Zentangles are created mostly in black and white and consist of random line drawings to create a final image. It is a great way to relax and unwind after a busy day. The Zentangle is a piece of art that can be easily achieved by students. It can have a calming effect on the whole class. Here is an example of a Zentangle that I created in my own classroom. Now it is time to have a look at some printing. Here we have a familiar name. Margaret Preston, who we looked at earlier in the gallery, is just as well known for her print work as she is for her paintings. This piece of art, fuchsias, was created by the image firstly being carved into a piece of wood. Then the wooden tile was rolled in black ink and printed. It was then that Margaret coloured in her work by hand to finish. This print can be seen as similar to Margaret Preston as the image is carved into the tile. This is an example of a print work that can be created in the classroom. We used a pencil to scratch the image of a fish into a thin foam tile. Then we rolled the foam tile in paint and printed the image on a base of different contrasts of paper. Now let's look at some sculpting. Marion Eason is a modern Australian artist specialising in clay sculpting, in particular pots, like we can see here. Eason has stated that she is extremely interested in exploring familiar objects such as the pot, but altering it in such a way like pushing her finger through the clay, as seen in Shot Pot 1 and 2. Eason finds it most interesting how in some cultures clay objects such as her clay bowls and pots would have held water, rice or grains, but by piecing the surface there is now a contrast of extremes and this clay object is now art. Eason has said that the creation of one complete piece from two objects is part of the inventive process, creating a new relationship through balance and connection. Clay sculpting in the classroom can be a fun and creative way to manipulate traditional forms and create different styles. This clay bowl was created in the classroom during one lesson and painted in another. A variety of techniques were used in its creation, such as rolling the clay, cutting the clay, cross-hatching, and joining the walls to the base, and then painting with bright colours. Thank you for visiting my virtual gallery. I hope you had a great time.